Good morning, I'm Alex. I look after UK residential for M&G Real Estate. We've got about £20 billion worth of real estate assets under management on a global basis. Our main client, as many of you will be aware, is Prudential Property, but we're looking to move away a little bit further away from that. We've got 70% Prudential funds and about 30% third-party capital. So we've got about £6 billion of assets that are managed on behalf of third parties. We see residential as an opportunity to further increase our third-party capital under management. We had a first dalliance with residential for the first time in about 40 years in the summer of 2013 when we bought a portfolio from Berkeley Homes, about 500 properties. That helped us set up a platform, put a fund together and start to look at how we can further our investment into UK residential. I won't go into the actual details of the dynamics of what we particularly find attractive, because I'm sure that will get teased out in part of the debate. But needless to say, supply-demand is very high up on the agenda there, and very different dynamics to the other parts of Europe, which again I'm sure we'll hear about now. We've done our first forward funding. We find finding stock has been one of the big challenges within the UK. So forward funding seems to be the way to access scale. We did our first forward fund in the summer in 2014. We've built we're in the process of building 150 homes, very much in the style of a US multifamily built for rent. So design is very important to us. We hope to close on a number of deals within the first quarter or second quarter of 2015 to further expand our offer and potentially double our fund size within our first 18 months.
Great, thanks very much. Sascha.
Good morning. My name is Sascha Wilhelm. I'm Chief Operating Officer of Corestate Capital. We're an opportunistic investment manager and co-investor running a portfolio of back then 3 billion euros of residentials mostly in Germany, residentials and student living. We were selling off 1.5 billion of these assets within the last 18 months as opportunistic investors, as prices were extremely rising within the last 18 months in Germany. And as opportunistic investors, we're now heading to different markets. We are just about to step into the Spanish real estate market and starting within a joint venture with one of the biggest groups in Spain, project developments in the Spanish market.
Great, thank you.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Javier Kindelan. I am President of Valuation Services for CBRE in Spain and the Managing Director of the regional offices for Spain and Morocco. Spain does seem like it's a flavor of the month in that sense. Lots of investment. We've been present in the market now for 40 years. And, for the past 6-7 years, not much activity in that sense, particularly on the residential side. But suddenly, in 2014, we've seen a boom in that sense of activity and obviously been very active. From the evaluation of all the bad bank, which we were responsible and coordinated, all the way through 2013 and mid of 2014 in that sense. So very much in touch with what's going on and recapitalization of the banks and the valuation of the bad bank. And then as well, very much present in the investment markets. With a bit of the recovery of the economy and at least, the recovery of the credibility as to the potential of the economy to recover and grow in that sense. We saw a lot of the capital flows going across Europe suddenly focusing in Spain. So great deal of interest, and we'll be able to discuss later on. But, we had a historic high last year in terms of investment volume, even higher than 2007 in that sense. A lot of things happening in the market, particularly on the residential side, where we saw a lot of the large institutional funds or companies like Cerberus or Apollo or Centerbridge buying a lot of the servicing platforms on the banks so that they can then buy obviously large real estate, mainly residential, land developers and whatnot to obviously manage. So a lot of things happening in Spain currently.
Great, thank you. Marcus, it'd be good just to get a sense of also which countries you're operating in terms of PATRIZIA and that side of things.
PATRIZIA, currently we have about 14 billion assets under management, which is 50% residential, 50% commercial, and the resi segment is heavily concentrated on Germany historically. But we also have residential investments in Finland, Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands since last year, and currently heavily working on the UK. And I think I'm not quite sure how far we are, but I think we can announce something in the first quarter or second quarter this year that we also be active in the UK PRS market, because we think it's also something of an opportunity. And we look at the rest of Europe in a sense that we are not opportunistically driven, but we look at opportunities on that side. If something comes around that really makes sense, given the risk-return profile, we are open for resi across Europe, and we have an investor base that's open for that.